Students, let's learn how to find out the solution of linear congruence, which is very important for exam point of view. Now, suppose when you have any equation like x plus 2 is equal to 1. So, if I ask you find the solution of this equation, what do you do? Basically, you find out the value of x, which is like minus 1 in this case. Same way, when we talk about the linear congruence, finding the solution of linear congruence means finding out this x, right? So, now what is the procedure that we need to understand? Before understanding the procedure, I need to check whether the solution exists or not, or if it exists, what type of solution I have, right? So what is a working procedure? Step 1, you find out GCD. You can see my video how to find out GCD. We will find out the GCD of A and N, which I will represent by D. Now, if second step, what I will be doing, I will be checking whether this D divides B or not. Now, if it divides means I'll get the solutions. Now, if suppose I have D is equal to 1, in that case, you will have a unique solution. And suppose if D is not dividing B, then I have no solution. So, very first step will be always to check the nature of the solution. Now, once we get one solution, it is represented by x naught. And then using this x naught, I can write down the general solution. So general solution is given by x naught plus n by d t. So by putting the different values of t, I'll get different solutions. Now here you need to understand one more thing. See, if I write a linear congruence 3x congruent 9 modulo 12, right? So in this case, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 9 and n is equal to 12. So what is the value of d? D is nothing but GCD of 3 and 12. Okay. So GCD of 3 and 12, which is equal to 3. Right. And now I'll check whether this 3 divides 9 or not. Yes, it do divide. So D divides B. So I have a solution. Correct. So this is one thing. So whenever you get this, step 1, you should reduce the equation by using the properties of congruence. For that, you can check my second video where I have told you the properties of congruence. So divide the whole equation by 3, that is the GCD. So this equation will be reduced to this format, mod 4, right? So this is how you should reduce the equation and then you should start solving the equation. Now, here if you observe this, what is the meaning of this statement? If you go by the definition of congruence, it means that 4 divides x minus 3, right? Now let us try to put different values of x. Now if I put a value x is 1 or 0, 4 is not dividing minus 3. So x is equal to 0, not working. X is equal to 1, not working. X is equal to 2, not working. X is equal to 3, I am getting 0. Yes, 4 divides. So my one solution is 3. Correct? Same way, if you check, keep on checking, you will get 7. You will get minus 1, you will get minus 4. These all are the solution. Now you observe one thing. I am saying 3 and 7 are the solution. Now let me check whether these two numbers are, can I write like this? 7 minus 3 is what? 4 and 4 divides 4. So these are called the congruent solution, right? So any two solutions x1 and x2 are congruent if I have this thing. Correct? And I am not interested in this type of solution. I am not searching this type of solution. I am searching the solutions x1 and x2 where they are not congruent. So they are called non-congruent solution or incongruent solution and we will be searching it. So what I will be doing, I will first find out one solution and then I will use the formula for general solution to get the remaining solution. This will give me the general solution which is coming from Diophantine equation which we have already discussed. But you can remember only this formula and you can work. Now you will have two categories of questions here. See, basically there are 3 to 4 methods to solve it. It's up to you. You are comfortable with with which method? The easiest method is this, what I have done just now. Just keep on trying with the numbers. But I will never recommend this method for you, because this method works when the numbers are small. If the numbers are big, you will get confused and you will end up with a lot of mistakes. The other one is keep on reducing the numbers by using the definition of congruency. That also, if you hit a right direction, you will get the answer in 2-3 steps. But by mistake, if you pick up a wrong number, it will become very lengthy. So I will tell you a method where you will sure get the answer and it will be done very easily. So I will not prefer to use this method, but I will show you one question using this method also. Okay. So let us start with the question. The first question I will do by the simplest method, which I will not recommend. Only it is easy. So you can try this method as well if the numbers are small. Now suppose I have to solve this. Means I need to find out the value of x, right? So first always have a habit of defining your a, b and n. And you define your d. D is nothing but GCD of a and n. So they are the co-prime na. So d is 1. D is 1 means I have a unique solution. Right? I will get a unique solution. So now, what is the working procedure? I should write 11 divide 3x minus 10. So now start checking. If I put x is equal to 0, so 11 divides minus 10 kya? No. Put x is equal to 1. So what you will get? 3 minus 10. 3 minus 10 is what? Minus 7. No, it won't work. Then put x is equal to 2. 6 minus 10. Again, no. Whatever I am getting, it should be divisible by 11. X is equal to 3. No. X is equal to 4. No. X is equal to 5. No. X is equal to 6. No. X is equal to 7. 7 3 is 21. 21 minus 10 is 11. Yes, it is working. So what is the solution? X naught is equal to 7. So I got the answer very easily in this particular question. See, my answer will be before 11 only. Okay. But my problem is that if suppose I give you 99 here in place of 11 or 126 I will give, then you can't write all the numbers and solve, na? So that is the reason I said this method is good when the numbers are small. Otherwise, don't go for this method. We will use the same method what I used in Diophantine equations. Right? So see that video as well before using this. Now let us do the second method. For that, I'll take another question and let us try to solve this. Now, as I said, define your a, define your b, define your n. Now tell me what is the value of d. D is nothing but GCD of 9 and 15. What is the GCD of 9 and 15? Obviously, it is 3. GCD is SCF only. Okay, big numbers mean use the method which I have taught you. Otherwise, orally you can do. So 3 is the GCD. Now, this D is dividing B kya? Yes, of course, 3 divides 6. So yes, I do have a solution. Right? Now let us work on it. Now understand method 2. I am writing here method 2. So you will be more clear. Okay? So this is the short method which you can apply everywhere. Okay? And we have done this type of thing. So it will not trouble you. Before starting, always write the reduced equation. Reduced equation means divide all the 3 terms by GCD. So I'll have 3x congruent to mod 5. Even if you don't do this step and you work with the original equation only, you will get the answer. Your answer may be different from me, but it will be congruent to my solutions. So not a big issue, but it will become small. Number of steps will be reduced if you reduce the equation. Okay, so I will always suggest to reduce equation. Now once you do this, what you have to do, you need to divide your a and n. Whatever is bigger, you write here. Okay. Now 3 ones are 3. 2 is a remainder. The GCD method I am applying. 2 ones are 2. Remainder is 1. 2. So 1, 2s are 2. So I got 0. Now I will write my Euclid's algorithm or division algorithm. So how I can write 3? 3 is equal to 2 into 1 plus 1. Right? So 3 is equal to 2 into 1 plus 1. Okay. And here, as I said always, like in Diophantine equation, write remainder is equal to 3 minus 2 into 1. Now go to the second number. 5 is equal to 3 into 1 plus 2. See, this is what I have done. 5 is equal to 3 into 1 plus 2. Right? And this will give me 2 is equal to 5 minus 3 into 1. Right? Now start with the first equation. 1 is equal to 3 minus 2 into 1. Now I will replace, second equation is giving me the value of 2 na. So that 2 I need to replace. So 1 is equal to 3 minus, in place of 2 I'll write 5 minus 3 into 1. Please don't multiply anything, just write it as such. Okay. Now observe it very carefully. 1 is equal to, now here I have 1 3. Here also I have 1 3. Okay, 1 into 3 means what? 1 3 or 3 ones. But I am interested in counting number of 3's. So 1 3 is here, 1 3 is here, and minus minus plus. So how many 3's I got? I got 2 3's. So I'll write 2 into 3 minus 5. Correct. Now observe this very carefully. If you compare it with your given equation or the reduced equation, this is my value of n. Okay. And 3 is the value of a basically. Correct. But I don't have anywhere b. So what is a b here? B is 2. I need to bring that in picture. So I will multiply the whole equation by 2 because I want to bring 2 as well. Okay. So when you multiply it by 2, what you will have? 2 is equal to 2 into 3. See, I cannot change my a. So the 2 which I am multiplying should be multiplied here and this will become 4. Minus 5 also I want to retain because it is my n value. So I will write 2 here. Right? Now, I got this equation and I am going to compare it with my standard equation, and before that I will write it in the modulo form. Now I am very clear, little smartness you use here. I know already that 5 is my n value. So you write mod 5. Correct. And 2 is my b value. So write 2 here. This is basically a definition of modulo only. But instead of going and thinking the definition and doing a mistake, play smartly and put it here, your another value, that is 3 into 4. Right? So I have just rearranged this. So basically what I have done, I have just rearranged to define the modulo. Now compare this with your question. What is your question? 3x congruent to mod 5. This was the question. See your reduced equation, 3x congruent to mod 5. Now if I am comparing, what is happening? This is same, this is same, this is same. So what is the value of x? X is equal to 4. That is my solution. But x is equal to 4 is my one solution, right? How to write the general solution? So general solution, x is given by x naught plus n by d t. Okay, for different values of t. So x is equal to x naught, that is 4, plus n. Now here what you should do? You should go to your original question. So my original question, what is my n? N is 15, right? So n is 15. And what is the value of d there? 3 and t. So this is 4 plus 5t. So what will be the x values? First you put t is equal to 0, so 4. T is equal to 1 means 9. T is equal to 2 means 14, and so on. So if you solve without reducing, probably you will start answers from 14 or the later numbers, but all will be congruent solutions. Right? So this is how we get the solution of the equation. Let us quickly try one more question to make it clear. As I said, it is very important for exam point of view, this type of solving the linear congruence. Okay. So I'll give you a quick method to solve this. Now see, I have selected little big numbers. Now what is the value of a here? A is 28, b is 56, n is equal to 49. And tell me what is the value of d? D is nothing but the GCD of 28 and 49. So it is 7 in this case. And the 7 divides 56. So yes, I do have a solution. So now if I have a solution, first step, reduce the equation. If you reduce this equation, divide all the three things. This, and this. So what I'll get? I'll get 4x congruent 8 mod 7. Correct? As I said, you can very well start with this equation without reducing. But if you want to play with the small numbers, reduce it. Now, let me do the second thing. I need to divide 7 and 4. 4 ones are 4, 3, 4. 3 ones are 3, 1, 3. So 1, 3s are 3, 0. So now let me write down by the Euclid algorithm or the division algorithm. So 4 is equal to 3 into 1 plus 1. 4 is equal to 3 into 1 plus 1. Or 1 is equal to 4 minus 3 into 1. Have a habit of writing like this. Don't multiply. Then the second number is 7. 7 is equal to 4 into 1. 7 is equal to 4 into 1 plus 3. Or 3 is equal to 7 minus 4 into 1. Okay. Now start with the first equation. So 1 is equal to 4 minus 3 into 1. And this 3 should be replaced by this 3. Whatever is coming in the next equation, you have to replace that number only. So 1 is equal to 4 minus, in place of 3, I'll write 7 minus 4 into 1. Okay. Now again counting thing. Here usually students do the mistake, so carefully observe. How many 4 are here? 1 4. How many 4 are here? 1 4. Minus minus plus. How many 4 I got? 2 4. Minus 7. Now again, for your understanding, think. This is my n. Okay. This is my n. What is my a? 4 is my a. So only b I need to create. Now b value is what? 8. So multiply whole equation by 8 without touching a and n. So I'll have 8 is equal to 8 to the 16 because I don't want to touch a, minus 8 into 7. Correct? Now I will write down it in modulo format. So I know it is modulo 7. So modulo 7 safe side I write. I was knowing my b is 8, so I'll write b here. And I'll write the remaining thing, the third number, 16 into 4 here. Now I'll compare this with my question. My question is 4x congruent 8 mod 7. Compare. 4 is 4, 8 is 8, mod 7 is mod 7. So what is the value of x? X is equal to 16. This is the one solution. How to write the general solution? X is equal to x naught plus n by dt. So 16 plus, what is your n? You go back to your original equation, and what will be your n in that case? 49 upon 7t. So 16 plus 7t. So what are the different values of x? If you put t is equal to 0, 16. Okay, t is equal to 1, then 16 plus 7. Now here I will tell you one more thing. Always remember one thing, when you get your answer, this I told you in video 1 also, when your answer is big, especially if it is bigger than your mod value, then there is always a scope of reducing it. And it is much better if you reduce and then write down the answer. Like here in this particular question, I should reduce 16 because it is more than 7. So what, even if I don't reduce, it will be correct. But the best practice is to reduce it. So how I will reduce 16? Congruent x mod 7. I don't prefer to have the big answers and negative answers. Okay. Now think about the table of 7. 7 ones are 7, 7 twos are 14. So how far I am from 14? 14, 15, 16. So 2. So I should write 2 mod x. Right? So my x value is basically 2. X naught value is basically 2. I am not saying these values are wrong. I am saying the better way to represent your answer is x is equal to 2 plus 49 by 7t. So 2 plus 7t. So my answers will be 2, 9, 7 threes are 21, 22, 23, like that. Okay. So soon if I keep on solving the questions, values, if I find out the values, I will get few common values as well. So this is also correct. This is also correct. This is most appropriate way to write down the answer, or the smart way to write down the answer. I hope now with these 3 examples you are clear. In my next video, I will teach you how to solve system of linear congruence. So subscribe the channel so that the moment I'll upload the video, you will get the notification. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to like the videos and encourage me.